Hello! Welcome to the very first episode of Mornings with Marla. I'm so excited to be starting this. Definitely a little nervous, but more excitement nervous than actual nervousness. So today I really wanted to touch on the subject of self-worth and confidence and kind of how they play off of each other. We'll start with a little bit of a Marla rant, and then we'll go into a little bit of a meditation. So let's just all start by closing your eyes. Just take a really big deep breath in the nose. Exhale out the mouth. I'll do two more of those. Big inhale in the nose. Exhale out the mouth. One more big inhale in the nose. And big exhale. Perfect. So we'll hop right in. On the topic of self-worth is something I've been working on a lot lately, and it seems as if a lot of times we don't hold our own value or our value, like think our value is worthy of a certain amount of money or worthy of a certain amount of love or worthy of a certain level of friendship. And it tends to create this negative kind of turmoil in our life. So what I've been working on really deeply is building my self-worth. And a way I've done that is by asking for what I feel my value is. A big example in my life recently is I started doing personal assistant work and a little bit of house cleaning work for a couple of different families. Everyone needs their own specific little thing. Everyone wants things cleaned a certain way. And so it's just been like navigating and learning that, but I'm pretty good at like picking up on the little details, and I'm pretty self-directed, and I'm pretty good at figuring out how to do things for different people and reading their energy. And when I first started a couple months ago, my rate was $17 an hour. And I worked with an elderly woman who I have talked about a little bit on like my Instagram and Facebook. But basically she was a 75-year-old woman, and she was the hardest person I've ever worked for and with. And to tell a little story, day one started out, I found her on care.com. I went to her house the first day, and it was interesting because I like did a phone interview with her, and then I hadn't heard from her in a really long time, and I was just like, okay, she probably forgot about me or she hired someone else. And then I got a call from her a couple weeks later, and she just wanted a couple hours a week, and I was like, nah, whatever. I'm sitting around not doing too much, so I'll work with her a couple hours a week. And the first day, she had me go through her emails, and she has about 2,000 emails that are unread, undeleted, like they're just all there, and it gives her a lot of anxiety, which I totally understand. I like my inbox to be completely zeroed out, like all the time, like I'm just deleting constantly, or just like marking them as read. And we were going through her emails, and she was having me delete them from up to a year ago. And we got in this huge debate about what the next month was for deleting. And anyway, I'm pretty sure I was right because I know the evaluation, how a calendar goes, so I'm just like backtracking, and she's just like yelling at me from the other side of the room, basically calling me like stupid and saying like she's not wrong and I'm wrong and how could I be saying these things, and basically told me, because I went to school for art, so I classify myself as an artist, basically told me she didn't hire me right away because I have an artist brain, and artist brains are usually too all over the place and scattered and can't get anything done and are too slow. And she was just, it was one belittlement after another, and it was so bad. I literally got out my phone and started to record it in a voice memo because I was like, holy shit, like I have to listen back to this one day and just be like, wow, you survived that day. So made it through the day, barely. I was so close to just walking out the door so many different times. I was texting my partner at the time, being like, oh my God, like I'm shaking right now. Like I can't breathe. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Like I don't know what to do about this. And in that moment, if I had enough self-worth and valued myself enough, I would have been like, excuse me, this is really rude. You're being so mean to me right now. Like, can we just take it back a moment and like discuss what's happening? But I just sat there and I took it. And I left that day and I was petrified to go back. I did not want to go back into that house. It was just pure anxiety and anguish and making me feel horrible about my personality and who I am as a person. And I still went back. I didn't set any boundaries. I didn't tell her it hurt my feelings. I didn't tell her she can't treat me that way. I didn't lay anything down. I just went back and continued to do my job. And she even asked me the second day, she was just like, so how'd the first day go? Are we gonna make it? Because I'm pretty sure she's had a lot of personal assistants coming in and out, that, I'm assuming people didn't want to work with her, because she's just a lot. And I was just like, if we can get along, this is going to be great. If we can't get along, this isn't going to work. So I guess that's kind of me setting my boundaries in a roundabout way, but it wasn't direct at all. And she kind of got it to the point where she was just like a little bit nicer that day. So I was kind of like, maybe I can do this. Like maybe there's some growth to be done on both ends. And then she started to tell me about her solo. She was a solo female traveler. She was bragging to me about how her IQ is so big, and she's a PhD psychologist, and she worked in the school districts, and she just was very like uppity about herself, which is great. More bragging, great. But when you're using it as a way to make someone else feel bad, not good. And it's not like I'm an idiot. It's just, you don't know me yet. Why are you assuming all these things about me and having to brag about yourself to make yourself feel better? And anyway, I just recognized so many qualities in her that I admired, like her travel and her stories and her just strength as a woman. She's single, no kids, and I definitely understand the lonely factor in that, of being a 75-year-old woman living by yourself and not having anyone to rely on. I get it, and I got it, and I'm a really empathetic, compassionate person. So I stayed for a really long time, couple months, not a really long time, like a couple months. But as time progressed, but I never knew what I was walking into. I never knew if she was going to be in a great mood or a horrible mood. And eventually she ended up getting edema, which is your body isn't filtering out water. So she gained about 40 pounds of water weight, and it was hard for her to walk. She couldn't go upstairs to her room. She couldn't cook for herself. Like, she started to rely on me a lot more. And I was there a lot more often. I was up to my hours quite a bit. And the whole time I'm questioning myself, why am I here? What is this lesson I need to learn from her? And there is so many lessons that I did learn and worked through. So it was all kind of this blessing in disguise. But in hindsight, if I would have had the self-worth and the confidence and been able to speak up to her from the beginning, I wouldn't have needed this lesson, and I would have left right away. Because you don't treat human beings like that. Like, she'd be on the phone just screaming at someone on the other line who is literally just doing their job, reading the like recorded information they have to read you. She was just belittling people all the time. Like, it was just a bad situation. But through this, I learned that my value is a lot more than $17 an hour, especially with the things she was expecting me to do. So the day I really decided this was, I went there and she had a little compost bin, and the compost doesn't come for every 2 weeks. And so she told me to clean out the compost, and I went to look in it, and it smelled awful. And then I noticed there were about like thousands of maggots in the compost. And I didn't get hired to clean your maggot mess. I'm sorry. Like, I got hired to like check your emails for you, go grocery shopping, like put away laundry, that kind of thing. So I told her, I was like, I'm not gonna do this for you. I'm sorry. And she was just like, it'll be fine. Just put on gloves, put on a mask, like, blah blah blah. But this is literally taking my own health into my hands when it's her problem, like her issue. It was just really gross, and like reminded me and smelled like death, and it was just one of the most repulsive smells I've ever smelled in my entire life. But I did it anyway. I didn't really stand up for myself all that much. I put on the gloves, I put on a mask, I got rid of her maggots, and it was in that moment that I decided I'm never doing anything like this for $17 again. So I get another contact for another personal assistant job, and I decide to test my luck, test my theory. So I ask for $20 an hour, which is only a $3 increase, which is fine. Got that, boosted my confidence. And the next call I get is a guy who just needed, he didn't really know what he needed. He just needed help, which I'm very good at figuring that out. So I ended up talking with him, and I was like, what the hell? Let's try it again. Asked for $25 an hour. Got it. So here I am going from $17 an hour cleaning maggots out of a compost bin to $25 an hour to just like go grocery shopping and make sandwiches and like tidy up someone's house. So as it continues, I'm just like, all right, this is building my confidence. This is building my like value. I know I'm good at what I do, and I'm just going to keep on keeping along and see what happens. And so finally, I'm just like, you know what, $30 an hour, that's what it's going to be. Like, I like sat down and I got really clear on what I needed to make every month, how to pay my bills, and what I wanted from it. And my number was like $65,000 a year. And that is about a 33% increase from what I was previously making pretty much my whole life as a server. And so as I go and figure this out, I'm like, okay, like 35 an hour is about where I need to be to like get this number. So I continued on, and 30 was my number. Recently got a call, $30, that's my rate. All right, done. I got another message about something, $30 is my rate, never heard back from him. And instead of being super discouraged in the no's, I was just like, fine, then you don't get me, because I'm really good at what I do. And through this transition and transformation of stepping into my confidence of asking for what I want, I was able to almost double from $17 an hour to $30 an hour, almost double my income within like 2 or 3 months. And for some of you, $30 an hour isn't much. For some of you, $30 an hour is so much. And for me, it was just like, let's test this theory. Let me step into this confidence. Let me ask really confidently. The more I asked, the more I felt okay and good about it. The more I valued myself, the more I stepped into my self-worth. And the way I started to ask for that price was in such a, yes, my rate is $30 an hour way, where it was just so blunt, and that's that I think people really felt like, oh, okay, all right, And it's so when you have this confidence in yourself, when you have this self-worth surrounding you, when you know your value, when you know you're good at what you do, and you ask for it, you will get it. And it's just this crazy epiphany I've had of just like, wow, like it is possible. And I remember talking to my partner, and he was just like, you're never going to make, like I was applying for some jobs on Indeed, and I'm just like, all right, I heard women don't get paid as much as men. People aren't applying for jobs they're not qualified for. And I can learn anything as long as someone's willing to teach me. So let's test the theory. So there I am on Indeed applying for all these jobs I have zero qualifications for at all. and just hitting the salary price point I wanted, or higher than the salary price point I wanted. And not that anything followed through on Indeed, because I am not going back to the corporate world at all. It's not happening. So now I'm just on the path of being an entrepreneur. And this is kind of just my side hustle. And it's just, I just wanted to prove him. He was, back to it, my partner, he was telling me, like, why are you applying for these jobs? Like, you're never going to get it. You're way underqualified. Like, that's way too much money for a salary increase from where you're going to, like, where you want to be. And I'm over here just like, magic happens, miracles happen, like, watch me make this happen. And the more he didn't believe in me, the more I was just like, I'm fucking doing it. Like, I'm doing it right now, watch me. So 2 months later, here I am, and increasing my pay rate by almost 50%, because I believed in myself, because the people who didn't believe in me made me believe in myself more, because I want to prove them wrong, and because I really worked on my sense of self-worth and confidence within that, and what I hold myself, like, what value I hold myself at. So in life, if you are trudging through the muck, not feeling great, not feeling confident, not thinking you're worthy, that is exactly what you're going to get. That is the energy you are putting out there. That is the energy you are going to get back in. When you are walking through life, strutting your stuff, like, my favorite example is if you watch Grey's Anatomy, before one of the girls goes into surgery, she puts her hands on her hips and puts her shoulders up and back and puffs her chest out and puts her chin up, just like she's a superhero. And she gains all of this confidence in herself by doing this, because she believes in herself and she puts herself in that pose and she takes that stance and she embodies it fully. And not to say it's easy, because it's not. It's all self-work, and every day is a struggle, and some days are better than others. But when you feel it that first time, when you get that first yes of the thing that you want so badly, that you know you're capable of, that you know you're worthy of, that you just need that confidence in yourself, when you step into that and when you feel that, you can bring it back over and over and over and over again. And the more you practice this stepping into your confidence, stepping into your confident body and your confident self, the more you will just naturally be there. So if you are trying to have worth in a relationship, if you are trying to have more worth in your workplace, if you are trying to have more worth from your children, more worth from your friends, I'm getting full body goosebumps right now, because it's just, I'm so passionate about it, and it's just, to feel worthy is such a special thing. And to not feel worthy and not feel confident is such a horrible feeling, and there's a lot of things it stems from, and we could go down like body image. That's a whole different topic, but I think it stems a lot from the confidence in your own body. I think it stems from childhood trauma. I think it stems from wanting to be seen. I think it stems from just bad relationships in general, and not understanding how communication can affect it in such a positive or negative way. I think it stems from school and grades, and how you're being viewed by someone someone who is a little bit higher than you, or like you feel like you need to respect more, or you feel like you're being talked down on. And it's all of these things put together that make us lack confidence, or be afraid to come out in the world and just like be who we are, and wave your freak flag and put big earrings on and wear your hair in a goofy way, because it's always fear of judgment. And it's, you're never going to make everyone happy. I don't believe in like absolute truths, but I really truly believe that if you try and make every single human being you encounter either feel comfortable, like love you, or or not offend them, or not get judgment from them, that is near, it is impossible, I think. If you talk to every single human being in the world and just spoke your truth, you would definitely offend some people. And we can't live our life walking through these motions with such a huge concern about how other people are seeing us. Because if you step into your confidence and know your self-worth and know your value, it doesn't matter what someone else thinks your value is, or if they're judging you for wearing your hair in a certain way, or if they're looking at your clothes because they're a little silly. It doesn't matter. As long as you hold that within yourself, you radiate that out and it will mirror back to you, and you will call in the tribe that you're looking for. And when you find your tribe of like-minded people, especially women, if you find the women that are there to support you and build you up, it's just the most phenomenal feeling in the world. And you feel supported and you feel loved and you don't feel judged and you feel held and you feel like you can say what's on your mind, or say like, I'm feeling really sad today, and you will just be held and respected and seen. And when you're out there trying to please every single person that you meet, or trying to say yes to them all, or trying to make them all really, really, really happy, you're giving away your own being on a silver platter, and you're never going to find the tribe that's right for you, because you're always going to be morphing yourself into someone you're not. So stepping into your full confidence, into your embodiment of yourself, and being so confident with the person you are, as long as you're a good human being and, you know, abide by the golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated kind of thing, and are respectful, that is just, the essence of that is so powerful. And you will see it mirrored back to you over and over and over again, with your relationships, with your workplace, with your children, with people, random strangers down the street. If you walk down the street and you're in a phenomenal mood and you're totally stepped into and embodied in your full confidence, and you know your worth and you know your value, watch how people look at you and respond to you. Watch how they smile at you. Watch how they wave at you. Watch how they say good morning or have a good day. And then on the counter side, if you walk through your day feeling self-conscious and embarrassed and not good and just cruddy and sad, which is totally okay to do some days. I always say, don't leave me alone. I'm throwing a pity party for myself for the next 6 hours and then I'll be done. If you're having a day like that, that's totally fine. But watch the difference. Notice the difference, how it's mirrored back in your life. I find that when I know my value and my worth and step into that confidently, it's like these little opportunities open and these doors open, and things just start flowing in, and you feel aligned. You feel on your path. And that is what every human being needs, a purpose. Every single one. If you feel purposeless, you are depressed, you are sad, you are angry, you are just a pile of rubble on the side of the street. And when you find your purpose as a human being and you can step into it and you feel it, you will get messages from the universe constantly. You will get full body goosebumps constantly. You will get opportunities that you never imagined would be there. You will meet people that are your soul family, your soul tribe. You will just notice and find joy and bliss in all of the little things in life, like a butterfly or a flower or the wind on your face. And it transforms everything from the inside out. And in order to transform from the inside, it's stepping into your confidence and stepping into your worth and knowing what your value is in this world and on this planet, and knowing what you have to offer, and understanding your why behind it. Why am I doing this? Why does this light me up? Why am I asking for this? Why? If you just come back to your why constantly, I think it helps make that transition into confidence a little bit easier. And I'm saying this is not going to happen overnight. This is not something that comes easily. This is some deep, deep, deep work, and deep just sitting with yourself and sitting in your body and looking at yourself in the mirror and just being like, I fucking love you. You are so beautiful. You are so worthy. You are so worthy. You are worthy of the love, of the money, of the friendships, of the lover, of the house, of the whatever you want in your life. You are worthy of that. And when you step into this confidence of you, it'll just transform everything. And you'll see it reflected so deeply and so beautifully. So with that, let's just do a little meditation. So if you're driving, obviously don't close your eyes, but you can follow along with the sound of my voice and just take some really deep breaths. If you are at home and sitting in a chair, you can plant your feet firmly on the floor, keeping your legs uncrossed. If you're sitting on the ground, you can cross your legs, maybe sit on a little pillow, prop up your sit bones or your tailbone. And then you can place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly if you're able to. Start to take some nice deep breaths in the nose and out the mouth. With every exhale, see if you can start to relax from the crown of the head all the way down to the toes. So you can relax through the crown of the head, the forehead and the eyebrows, your eyelids, your temples, your cheeks and your ears, your lower jaw. Make sure your teeth are not clenched. Make sure your tongue is relaxed in your mouth, your neck. Let the breath work its way down the shoulders, the heart space, the lower ribs. Really relax through the belly and the hips, the thighs and the knees, the calves. The ankles, the heels, the arches of the feet, and the toes. I want you to picture a moment where you felt like you lacked confidence. You felt like you lacked setting the boundary, saying the no. You lacked feeling your worth. You lacked understanding your value. Let's take ourselves back to this spot, this moment. Notice what's around you. Notice who's in front of you. Notice how you feel. And first of all, we're going to have a little compassion for the human that's making you feel unvalued or not worthy. Most of the time when people are speaking down to you or making you feel bad or saying something that's hurtful, it's because they're in pain themselves. So we always just try and hold a space of compassion for them and their pain and understand that it's just a projection. It's not necessarily what's true. And then think about the thing they said to you or the thing that you should have or wanted to say. Replay that conversation. Don't attach to it, just think about it. It's okay, it's in the past. It's totally let go. Now I want you to think about the thing you wish you would have said. What would you have said to show your confidence, ask for your value, and present your self-worth? I want you to stand in front of this person in that superhero pose. So imagine your hands are on your hips, your shoulders are back, your chest is forward, your chin is up. Take a really deep breath into that heart space. Maybe you want to imagine there's a superhero cape on your back. In this moment, repeat to yourself, I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy of the love. I'm worthy of the connection. I'm worthy of the love and the connection and the lack of judgment. I'm worthy enough to be heard. I'm worthy enough to be valued and cared for. I am worthy. I'm worthy of my dream life. I'm worthy of my dream partner. I'm worthy of my dream career. I am worthy and I deserve all of the things that I desire in this world. I am worthy. You can repeat that to yourself until you believe it and get more and more and more confident with it. Just continue to repeat, I am worthy to yourself until you believe it fully. And then you can step into that confident space. You can know your value. Believe deeply in your self-worth. One more big breath in the nose. Exhale out the mouth. And as always, have compassion for yourself in these spaces. So if you are feeling unworthy or unloved or undervalued, you can give yourself a big hug and just be, it's a normal human emotion. It's something everyone goes through and everyone feels. But the moment you really start to step into that mode of confidence or the really, really big self-worth, like I am so worthy, I am so loved, and I am so valued. It's those little fleeting moments of goodness that you can find and then hold on to and continue to allow them to grow and expand. So step into your confidence, grow your self-worth because you are worthy, and know your value and ask for it, because the more you ask for what you feel your value is, the easier it becomes, and the less the no's are going to affect you in a negative way. It's like you're just like, well, no, bye-bye. On to the next one. And especially have self-worth in your relationships and know how much love and support and care you deserve, and don't settle for anything less than that. So I love you all. Happy first podcast episode. I hope that was helpful. I am on Instagram. It is _Marmo, MARMO. And then Facebook is Marla Mokus. So I'm on those. I have a Spotify. If you'd like that, you could probably find it on my Facebook somewhere or on my Instagram. I also am a confidence coach, and if you want more info on that or would like to work with me, you can find me on my Instagram or my Facebook and just send me a message. I'd love to chat more. And I hope you all have a really beautiful day and step right into your confidence.